Hello, everyone. This is Nate Sanchez with Farmers Insurance, and I'm here with a good friend of mine, Candace, real estate professional that we've been working with recently. So I know, obviously, not everyone has already purchased property here in Colorado, or maybe they're looking at doing that for the first time. So for those people that you might be working with, what would you say is the first step in starting the process?
Nate, the very first step is getting a pre-approval and finding a lender to work with. Getting a pre-approval lets you know how much you can borrow, and that gives us a good idea because you want to be able to have a loan estimate. What a loan estimate is that's something that the lender produces, and it will show you how much money is required for the down payment and closing costs. This is important because you may need some additional time. You may not realize, how much you need for a down payment. You may need to liquidate some assets or potentially request gift funds from some of your family if you're able to do that. So in any case, they'll give you a clear picture of what's financially required.
Now, as people are going out and they're looking at homes, sometimes people wonder, they wonder about, okay, how much time am I putting into this? How many homes am I looking at before I'm kind of at that point where I feel like I need to make a decision on it?
So the honest answer to that is it's completely up to you. In a hot market, you're going to probably go look at anywhere from 3 to 5 properties in a day, if not sometimes more, depending on, how aggressively you're looking. The nice thing about technology and the way that we are able to find data is that we have the ability to search online. People go to online resources, a variety of online resources. You can see pictures, you can get information about properties, you can kind of look in certain areas. As a realtor, I can set you up on, if you're like, Candace, I want to be in this area and this is what I'm looking for and this is how many bedrooms and how many bathrooms I need. I can set you up on a search, and you'll get emails when those properties come on. And that's really helpful to do even 6 months in advance if you're actually going to be looking in the next 6 months to purchase, because then it gives you solid knowledge of what's going on in that area, and you have a much better understanding of what properties are really going for and what type of properties, if they are on the lower end or the higher spectrum, what that really looks like. I always also recommend to my clients that it's great to drive through the neighborhood on the weekday and on the weekend to get a real good feel of the neighborhood and what your life would be like in that future home. So those are all great options, and we all can be very resourceful now that we have access, but it's always important for you to reach out to your realtor, ask them questions.
Very cool. And I do appreciate you mentioning something about visiting that neighborhood or wherever that property is at different times. Personally, this was long before we knew each other, but the realtor I was working with had recommended the same thing, and we visited a property during the weekend. It was totally fine. We went on a weekend, and we realized that because of its proximity to where the I think it's Purina, they have like a dog food factory, and that was going full blast, and they were venting some stuff, and it just smelled awful. I just, and that really was one thing that I was like, I can't see myself living next to that. But had I just gone based on that initial impression of what the property was like, I would have said, this is a decent property, don't necessarily mind the area too much, and it's within our budget. Maybe we will go with this one. But had I not had that advice to go at different times, I wouldn't have found out that at times it smells really awful to live right next to that area. So, but Candace, I really do appreciate your insight into some of these things, and I recommend that for those, especially those who are looking at buying a home for the first time, please work with her. She's very good about explaining everything as you got an impression of already. She's very good at working with these buyers and making sure that we all know what these steps are and there are no surprises along the way. Appreciate your time again. Thank you, Candace, and have a great rest of the day.
Thank you, Nate. Thank you so much for having me. It's